Hey there, so today we have another review. This is a beer courtesy of Vintage Beer Enthusiast. Thank you so much, Scott, Vintage Beer Enthusiast on Instagram. Please check him out. Good luck to him. He's about to take the advanced Cicerone test. And so this is Enegren's Doppelhawk. So this is a Doppelschwarzbier. Not a thing. Doppelhawk is a style that you guys might know, but then Schwarzbier is also a style, like a dark, moderate or light to moderate ABV lager. And then Doppelbock is like elevated ABV, kind of like, you know, Meyer and intense, sort of like the Imperial beer for, well, outside of Eisbock, but the Imperial beer for the German style. So you're sort of making a Imperial black lager, which is not really a thing that German breweries do. I mean, some of the maybe darker Doppelbocks get there, but this is pretty interesting. This is, I guess, the closest thing to Imperial stout that Germany influence can do, but Enegren's doing it. So why not? 8%. Surprised that this is not a style, but let's see. Maybe even more like Baltic Porter because it's lager. So maybe this is more like Baltic Porter. Who knows? Very curious what this turns out to be. Sounds like it'd be really delicious because I love both styles. So the beer is actually not that, I mean, it's black to the light, but that is sort of like a cola, like, you get, actually it's pretty dark, yeah. It actually pretty much is black, but like more like, not like Imperial style, kind of like pitch black. It's like, I see a little bit of ruby in the edges. You sort of saw it when I poured it. Yeah, it's more like a Baltic porter, lighter Imperial style stout kind of color. Quite nice. Tan head on that. Nice head formation. Initial notes, I get a little bit of cocoa, a little bit of spicy hop character. Not really spicy hop character, sorry. It's that kind of like robust malt. So on the nose, it's sweet. It's got this like sweet cocoa thing, robust kind of like chocolatey malts in there, a little bit of toffee, chocolate, sort of like sugar covered, black chocolate with just a ton of sugar dumped in it. Well, I guess you take the taste of that, but on the aroma, which makes no sense, but you can't really smell that. But it sort of like smells like you'd bite into a coffee bean that has been covered in white sugar. Nice kind of crusty, kind of like Maillard in there too. On the nose, it's hard. I mean, it would be like anywhere from like, what does this actually smell like? On the nose, I would guess anywhere from like American Porter, not as hoppy, so maybe not American Porter. British, like English style, Imperial stout. A little bit of dried fruit in there, very intense, almost like wee heavy. Like, wow, a lot of stuff going on. It's hard to pick down where it's at exactly at. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. And I didn't even mention it. It could be a Baltic Porter. And this beer tastes like Baltic Porter. I don't know what to tell you. 8%. So it's lager, clean fermented. It has a little bit of residual sweetness, or a good amount for an 8% beer, but it dries out quite nicely. There's a noticeable kind of like dried fruit character that sends me to Europe. The American beers tend not, or generally don't do that because, or don't show it because the American beers are generally so hoppy and also are so burnt and like char roasty. This is pushback on that. So the most, like, if you just want to like blind, like to like what this tastes like, foreign extra stout, closest thing. Tropical stout, maybe, yeah, tropical stout, because tropical stouts can actually be a little bit thin and fruity. So you're in the range of foreign extra stout, tropical stout, Baltic Porter. Or really like watery attempt at an Imperial stout. Yeah, there you go. So, despite being a black beer, it's actually in the realm of Schwarzbier in the sense that it's actually not that roasty. You get a hint of, like, initial text not that burnt. As you wait, you get a little bit of that coffee, a little bit of that kind of like semi-sweet chocolate thing in the mid-palate. And it's complemented by a little bit of sweetness. There's a really wonderful kind of dried fruit, dried date, a little bit of raisiny thing going on here. It has a little bit of the chunkiness of a Doppelbock, but for me, that like really like drinking liquid bread thing is somewhat missing here. So what you sort of get is like an Imperial Schwarzbier. Yeah, it's an Imperial Schwarzbier, which is weird because it has a little bit more residual sweetness, a little bit more sort of dark fruit and like complexity, but it's not overly roasty as exactly a Schwarzbier should be. Yeah. And now think of it, the foreign extra stouts are more roasty. They're more burnt a little bit. So it's like it's almost like really like a Baltic porter or a tropical stout. Yeah, in that range, 8%. Not hitting your face too much with too much of the roast. Has that clean, dry lager ferment with a little bit of residual sweetness. Nice hint of roast. I mean, it's a fun beer. Wow. And then what do they go with this one? Truffle fries. Yeah, this one might be good with truffle fries. They had like really rich, kind of mushroomy, intense flavor, and like those really intense notes of that like aioli or whatever they're using. I think would pair well with this because it's such an intense dish. And funny story for you guys, as a server, I got this is more recent than not recent. Hey, can I get just regular fries? These truffle fries taste like mushrooms. I'm like, you got it, you got it, yeah. And I literally just grabbed one of the truffle fries. I was like, tastes like truffle fries. I don't know what you want, man. Chocolate raspberry tort. Or tart, whatever, tort. Maybe, yeah. This beer is not overly intense to overpower that dish, I don't think. Vanilla bean ice cream. That would be fun. That'd be fun. Vanilla bean ice cream would be very good at this. So, very fantastic beer. Thank you so much, Scott. This is 8%. This is the Doppelhawk. Yeah. Just a pretty... It's dangerous though. 8% Mamma Mia. This is dangerous beer. It's really nice and dry, super drinkable in that German range, but with the complexity of a little bit of like cocoa roast, a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of dark fruit. And as we wait more, there's a nice kind of that mid palate that sits there, like a caramelized biscuit kind of thing that sits in there, showing that Doppelbock part, but it doesn't really push any range where it's like so much in those more intensely darker roasted beers. So it's like plays that really pretty place that Germany can do. So hey, I guess traditional breweries don't do it, but I'm very curious if more breweries would like to try something like this. I guess sort of like a Baltic porter, but on the German spin. So a little bit more subtle. Very interesting beer. I would love to hear what Scott has to say about this beer. This beer for me gets a solid 95. I love the novelty on this one. Love it. Until next time, guys. Cheers. Later.